Oh, there we are. Oh. Oh.
You're the same, you can run now. And I said bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be tired. I said bye, bye, bye. Yeah. I said bye, bye, bye. Yeah. I don't wanna be tired. I said bye, bye, bye. Yeah. She calling 999. Pull her heart down, down to the gutter. She thinks she Bonnie and I'm Clyde. Well, you can play it for a night. Oh, but if you search, you find I'm not looking for no love tonight. No, I don't want bad vibes, but you're too fast, wanna drop the line. So I said bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be tired. I said bye, bye, bye. Yeah. I said bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be tired. I said bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Yeah. She said, hold on, baby, why you leaving? I thought we had a love that you believed in. You're running from yourself, I hope you find what you're looking for out there on the other side. Cause there is no love out there in the world so cold. Baby, I got this fire in my soul. I know you thought you had me under your control. You can't control animals. So I said bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be tired. I said bye, bye, bye.
You know we have this rhythm track under control, saying, and you know we don't play with it 10 times we in the place. Run it!
Martin. Martin. Show your fix. We did that. We did that warn him. We did that warn him. Yes, we did that warn him. Put him the police and make John call them yam him. We did that warn him. Yes, we did that warn him.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix here as part of the World Championship Racing Season 2. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and joining me on the cast suspension is Jamie Castelda. How are you doing?
I'm not too shabby. Yourself?
Good, yeah, not too bad, thank you. I'm very excited.
Can we just point out the first error? You started off with a good start. We're in Austria, not Australia.
I said Austria, didn't I?
No, you said Australia.
I shall. Well, you know, it's close enough. So, it is the Red Bull Ring here, and as you can see, there is 2.6 miles long. It does have a lot of DRS zones. It does also mean there's going to be a lot of chasing. It does also mean there's going to be a hell of a lot of battling going on. 3 tyre choices available to you. You got the ultra soft, the super soft, and the soft compound. Obviously, the ultra soft is going to be the fastest. Provided we don't have any rain, we should hope to see quite a good range of these tyres overall. So, we are already underway with the qualifying, but here are the sort of times we're looking at the minute. The official F1, Valtteri Bottas has done the fastest lap ever of a 103.130, and Kimi Raikkonen did a 106.957. So here we are underway now with the qualifying session, and as we get started, I do want to open up very, very quickly with who do you think is going to be the driver of the day?
Do you think I'm going to be the driver of the day?
Yeah, driver of the day.
I can't predict that far ahead.
Oh no, this is something new. This is something I wanted to see if you heard what I'd said and you clicked it. That's good. I'm impressed. So now I need you to answer the question.
Driver of the day. Christ. Rainer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because I've heard the weather report.
I have also heard the weather report, but I'll let you share it.
I've heard inter-race dry qualifying, but also I've heard wet race. So I had a race here the weekend, and Max put it on pole in a changing qualifying, but then spun out and died at turn 1. So I'm not expecting much from him. But yeah, I'm predicting Reino. We know he's got the pace. He's definitely going to be on the podium, unless he makes a big mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, with that in mind of him being the driver of the day, what do you think the predictions are going to lie for the end of qualifying? Do you think it's going to be Reiner at P1?
I think if Rick can get it together, he'll run him close. Same with Brownie. Obviously, we see Rick have issues from time to time, not put it out, and invalidate a lot of laps. So he does have the pace. If he starts a lap like that, he's not going to have the pace. He just went wide in the last corner. It's hard to look away from Reiner putting it on the front, in all honesty. So I'm going for Reiner, Rick, Brownie, but very, very tight. We're talking a tenth separating all three of them.
Yeah, no, I can completely relate to that. I do agree with you between Reiner and Rick. I think Reiner will be P1, but Rick, I reckon, will be definitely taking away P2. I am, however, going to throw a huge spanner in the works, and it's his debut race here in the World Championship Racing. But having raced with this guy on multiple occasions, I have seen how incredible he can be as a driver and how quick he can be. So I'm going P3 of Just Chillin'. In fact, he's actually on an outlap at the minute, but I am currently on board with Games Mirror. He's coming around the second to last. There he is now on the final corner. Do you want to, when we see Just Chilling go around, do you want to do it on board?
We can. Games Mirror sets the fastest at 105.6. It's going to be a cold track as well. That's because you can see just how many clouds are in the sky. I've been told it's a dry qualifying, but this could turn into rain at the very end, maybe, to mess things up. As Max puts in a 104.8. I think you can go faster than that.
Yeah, definitely. We are looking. Ideally, we want to see the magic number of a 103. It is definitely doable, not by me, of course, but you know, these drivers aren't slow by any stretch of the imagination. I fully expect Reiner and Rick to be touching the high 103s. We'll have to wait and see. But I have jumped onto Just Chilling. I don't know if you want to continue from turn 2 onwards.
Yeah, I mean, there's only officially 8 corners on this track, and this is turn 2. There are 3 DRS sections, as you mentioned earlier. This is effectively the second one, going down the hill, sort of. It's a bit undulating, this section of the track, because you go up into turn 2, and then this whole section is just snaking downhill. Little lock up there going into turn 3, but this turn 3 opens up lovely. You just get the power down, then into turn 4, this left-hander. And he's just wide. Is he going to find? No, he can't find a late apex. Doesn't run too wide. There's little sausages on the outside of that corner that's going to catch people out through 5 and 6. And then you come towards Jochenrindt corner, turn 7. See if you can pick this one perfectly. He's just on the apex, but that should be clean. And then he hits the apex beautifully there. Then DRS again. It's pretty much half this track is in DRS, and that's a 105.1. So he knows he can do better. And he's definitely not going again.
No, definitely not. The other thing to note, though, he is the fastest driver at the minute out of the super soft runners. We have seen a 103.852 from Reiner, which is already, you know, bordering the official F1 world record so far. But we'll have to see how that pans out. I do expect as the track gets hotter, despite the fact that the weather is pretty cold, I do think that we'll be starting to see further down into the 103s and the lower end of the spectrum. Bear in mind that the world record on F1 time trial is a very low 103. So if anybody does actually accomplish that, they will be touching on that record.
We've had a 103 already, 103.8 from Rayner.
Yeah, it's whether or not it's close enough, because I think the world record is like a 103, like 089 or something like that. It's something really low down, as an official one anyway. Who do you want to go on board on?
I'm carrying on Brownlee. I think it's looking slow, so I think this might be another installation lap. But it's interesting seeing people go out on the super softs, obviously looking to put a banker in, because we know it's going to be a wet race. We expect it to be a wet race anyway, based on the weather forecast. So they're also putting a banker in. They're not going to try and qualify on the super soft. There's absolutely no reason for it. Brownlee does it put a lap in a fair bit of the pace actually. But there's no point trying to fully qualify on the super softs because you're not going to use them in the race to start.
No.
You know what the race is going to be like. You know you're going to be starting on wets or inters. So yeah, it's just quite interesting at this point to be still going for super softs, but each their own.
Yeah.
/LP coming around turn 1. This looks like a flying lap. There's Harry. Where's that? I can see the greens.
Is that on the outside there? I think it was on the, just after turn 1. I think he'd binned it on the exit. That doesn't quite fare well for the Red Bull driver. So, I mean, he's currently sat P9. He's done a 105.203, but there are still 5 of the drivers yet to put a lap time in, and that time isn't going to secure him anywhere near the top 10. And like you said, with the time trial, sorry, with the race itself being wet track, it does suggest that there'll be all these drivers doing their times on the ultra softs, and so that 105.2 will not be quick enough. Just chilling out on another out lap, but I do want to go on board with Ray, who is currently starting a hot lap now.
Oh, I'm on board. /LP is about to finish his hot lap.
Let's jump back on him then.
A little nervous between 7 and 8, but see what you can do. 5, 6, 5th place. You'll be content with that. He knows you can probably go faster.
Yeah.
So Ray, where is he? There he is, going up the hill.
Yeah, and he's looking pretty solid as well from what I have seen of him. Let's see how he takes it. This is the killer one. If you really take that terribly, I mean, he took it clean. That was very surgical. But, you know, a lot of drivers, especially the inexperienced ones, including me, will, whenever they come out of turn 2, they tend to spin the rears up a bit too much, get all out of shape. Yeah, they can catch it, but, you know, you've already lost so many tenths. And in a sport like this, you can't afford to lose even thousandths of a second, because it would be the difference between P1, P2 or P3, or as it stands right now, P8. But Ray looking very quick and very comfortable indeed.
Yeah, you talk of thousands. Look at the time of /LP, Roy and Max.
Yeah,
there's less than a tenth between them, and that is just one little quick opposite lock gone slightly too hard, too early. And Ray P3 again. Look, he's 800ths off the 900ths off Rick.
Yeah.
So this a lap there from him.
Yeah.
See what Brownlee can do. He's on an out lap at the moment, but we expect him to have the pace. He's just languishing a bit further down at the moment.
Well, something we were talking about earlier is Rick. He's currently about to finish a hot lap at the minute. His second to last corner now. Turn 8 about to be here now. There you go. He's got a little bit of slipstream. Is he going to be able to cross the line and be faster? Let's see. He goes. Wow, he does. 103.785. Rayner has just started a hot lap, I believe.
No, he just finished the hot lap.
Oh yeah, he's in that area. Yeah, you're right. Alright, so we saw Rick is currently holding pole position. It's obviously provisional pole, but you know, with a time like that, it's going to be very tough for anybody to try and pip that at the post. Here is someone who is trying though. That is Speedy in P4 at the minute with a 104.342. Looking pretty cozy through the middle sector there. How is he going to fare? Go on.
Oh, so I'm just on board with Brownlee. He's just started 5 laps. It would be worth keeping an eye on him as Speedy's come around the final corner.
Yeah, 103. Oh, very low, 104. He has beaten his teammate, and that's crucial. 2
thousandths faster than his teammate. So let's go on board with. He's still on the other side of the track, so he's a long way to go, really, for Brownlee. Where's everyone else? He
Where's
might be...
Blackbird? Oh, he's just done a lap. So Blackbird just crossed the line. He's done a 105.862. And yeah, P17, not something, especially on the Ultra Softs. You got people who are qualifying faster on the Super Softs. That is not how you want to be at the minute. So Blackbird.
What's with Rainbow?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. He just doesn't look comfortable at all. He's done 2 laps on those Ultra Softs and he's only done a 107.558. You know that.
Oh, Brownie, a massive opposite lock there coming through Jochen. That might have made a mess of his time. Let's see what we can do. 4.5.
Still
P6 for now.
improves.
Yeah, but at least he now knows that if he doesn't mess up that final corner, he's got a chance to go even faster.
Yep, absolutely. One thing I do want to just draw attention to is Mr. Zoxon in his name has paid tribute to the legend Charlie Whiting. As some of you may know, he did pass away very suddenly yesterday. And so a lot of tributes have been paid to him for all of his hard work and dedication, and WCR in particular would really like to pay their tributes and thank Charlie Whiting for everything he has done. So let's take a look at Max Thorne. He's about to start a hot lap. Now, like you said, Max can... Oh, well, not if he's doing that. Max can be quick. He's just
He's
not...
on the tyre again, though.
He is. I think he's doing it as a little show to himself.
Well, I'm on board with Astro Boys. He's got 2 corners to go. He's a man that... He's a captain consistent type person who will put in decent race pace with no penalties, but his qualifying always seems a little bit off, as he showed through those last 2 corners. 4.1 invalidated though.
Yeah, he did. It's
That was
unfortunate.
P3.
The thing is like you said, he is captain consistency. He's quick and he's able to keep himself out of trouble quite frequently, which is brilliant. The one thing that I think that holds Astro Boys back is his confidence in himself. He lets the smallest little mistakes that he does, or you know, something that the game has caused, he lets it affect him way more than he should really let it affect him, and he just needs to hone that sort of confidence focus in and really just get rid of the sort of negative thoughts, and then you'll see him absolutely dominate in any racing league he takes part in. You know, we saw him the other day where he was actually racing against someone else we call Captain Consistency, and he actually, he actually demoted him to a sergeant. So, you know, that's just how good he can be as a driver when he's in the right zone of mind. Is he in the right zone of mind right now? Well, he's gone through turn 7. Here he is in a turn 8. Stay within the track limits. I think he has done, but he is slower. I don't know whether or not he was just setting himself. Yeah, he was just setting himself up for this one.
It's 2 seconds off his previous best, so that's a big mistake if it wasn't a warm-up. But top 3 are all out as well. Rick is trying to do a super soft lap, which is interesting. Unless he's just trying to be out there to annoy other people.
Possibly. Well, Rayner's back in the pits after an interesting way of taking turn 7. Speedy's currently off track. He's just brought himself back on, but it's definitely not the racing line, that's for sure. Games Mirror, he's on a flyer as well at the minute, going through the 2nd sector, just finished. Now started the 3rd.
Rick's pissing.
I love Austria as a track. It's such a fun, high-octane track, and the amount of battles that you'll see, especially in the dry conditions when DRS is available, and to watch how they're going to be doing in the wet conditions is going to be so intriguing. So pay attention, as Games Mirror has just done a 104.491, so it does jump up to P6, and actually, you know, that is really quite respectable. His teammate is still way down there in P17, 105.862, but still not the end of the world.
Just on board with Rainbow at the moment. He's currently on a flyer. He needs to find 3, if not nearly 4 seconds. And yeah, we kind of expect him to do it. Maybe not 4 seconds, but probably 3 seconds. Let's see what he does. Comes across the line now. 4.6. He's up to P9. I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to just draw your attention, actually. Just look at the gap from, well, you know, just look how close everybody is in the field. Look at sort of P4 onwards. You know, he gets to 104, 184. Then you've got 2000s in front. Behind that is Ray. And then that's when you get 3/10ths. And then again 500ths. Then 400ths. Sorry, 300. Look, it just gets... It's so tightly compact. P10 down to P13 are literally neck and neck.
Even the top 14 are separated by literally just over a second, 1.071. And that just shows how close this pack is going to be come race time. Obviously, people are going to have wet weather setups on for the race. It's going to make things a little bit more interesting in qualifying, more mistakes. But yes, so got 2.5 minutes to go.
Lazaro as well, actually, up in P3 in the minute in that Sauber. He's done a very good job of tearing around the track and done a 1:03.940. And I think I may have actually overlooked him. He is someone who has impressed me in the... I've only seen him race in one other league race before today. And he impressed me then. And so far, he's impressed me again. And also making me regret my decision for a P3.
Oh, where did that come from? Blackbird. Look at the gap between him and Rick.
That is nuts. That's a very, very quick lap time there. And that came like... It literally felt like it was someone who was struggling, couldn't chain it together. Couldn't get the lap how he wanted it to be, and then bam, 1:03.794. Very impressive lap time by him. Now the question is though, what is Reina going to do about that? That isn't something that Reina's going to take lightly. He's going to be giving it the full beans, as you can see right now. I think he is going to be on this.
Ray's had enough. Just watching Brownie and Rainbow, they are very close together. Brownie's just coming out to the final, second to last corner. Rainbow's literally about 400 metres behind him. So let's see if Brownie can go better. Make my prediction almost true. P7 could be better. Rainbow doesn't move. Drops. Doesn't drop. Just doesn't move.
Yeah,
So
not
he's
quite
doing-
how he wanted it to
yeah.
be, really, is it?
So Raina's putting in a lot of time, and it looks like he's going again as well.
Yeah, so Reina did put a time in, but he was a 10th slower. He is absolutely going again. I don't think he's going to have enough to maybe go again after that. But somebody who's really surprised me is Astro Boys. I mean, he has said that he's struggling with Sector 3 in particular. I think it's these bits here when you get, the runoff bits. People tend to just take it a little bit too wide, and then when they try to counter it, they end up going a bit too slow. But that is better. P5 for him. 1:04.056. Almost in the 1:03 range, like the top four are currently sat in. Lazaro is in the pit, so he won't be going again.
Raina's coming around the final corner. Yeah, he's going for the line.
Oh!
That's a demolished. And that is it. Look, bang, out, done.
Yeah.
See you later. He's got to be feeling confident about that. Rick is on a flyer lap. He's on a last chance saloon at the moment. Let's see what he can do. My prediction is not going to be moving higher than 8th. That's someone facing the wrong way.
I was going to say, there's a fair few cars on track that were facing the wrong direction. I saw Rainbow was off track facing the wrong direction, and then I think that was Rolls Royce also in the same situation.
Rick Speedy's a bit behind, so Astro Boys is going to be the next big boy to cross the line. Coming around the final corner. It's starting to look a bit sunny all of a sudden here. It's interesting. So Astro Boys coming across the line. Doesn't improve. Rick.
Oh, he's done it! Rick puts a 1:03.574, says, Rainer, I see your lap time and I raise you a P1, a solid P1 as well. The only person on track who can change anything up right now is this man right here, Max Thorne. You've seen him having a fair few issues already. And
he can do a 3:08.
Oh, yeah, but knife is invalidated. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's got to be an invalidation right there.
That's a little bit wide.
Well, there you have it. Rick taking pole position. We both said Rainer had P1, so our P1 prediction was definitely off there, but we did have them both in the top 2, just the wrong way around. Your P3 was Brownie, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he was quite low. He was 8th the last time I looked.
And I bagged Just Chillin', who ended up finishing P9.
Just behind Brownie.
Yeah, so
That's a win for me.
I'll let you take that one. I'll let you take that one. But, okay, you took that one. So what is your podium going to be, given the fact that it's a wet race?
I think Rainer will take the race. I can't... Rick is good, but he's just full of mistakes. So I'm going Rainer, Rick, and I'm going Astros.
Okay. And so, I know that I backed Just Chillin' to get P3 in qualifying, And I think, if I'm being truthfully honest, I think the reason why he's not in the top 3 is that he's went for a very wet setup.
Well, we'll find out shortly, won't we?
We will. I mean, looking at the track right now, it is properly pouring it down, let's be truthfully honest. And I think Just Chillin' may have a little trick up his sleeve. So my prediction will go... I don't know if I should go Rayner again, if I'm honest, because he was quick, don't get me wrong, but I just get the impression he's missed the fact that it's going to be a wet race. And I think he's going to be using a very dry setup. I actually don't think Rayner will be doing as well as we think. I'm going to go Astro P1.
Interesting.
I'm going to go Astro P1 just because I think he's in the same size shoes as Just Chillin'. I think he did struggle, but I do think he has a more wet setup. So as we start the formation lap. So Astro Boy's P1. It's anyone's guess. This rain's going to play havoc on all of these drivers. Alright, so Astro Boy's P1, Ray Ray P2, Just Chillin' P3. There you go.
Right. And I believe in a tribute to Charlie Whiting, we are leaving it as is until we start.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you Charlie for everything you've done. And here in tribute to him is a lovely wet formation lap.
And as the commentators, we will be very quiet. Okay, thank you Charlie for everything you've done. We fully appreciate everybody here, myself, Amkasa, and all of the WCR boys. Really appreciate everything that you did for Formula 1. And here we are, this race is for you. Austrian Grand Prix is about to get underway. First question is, who's going to get away the quickest? Let's see. I'm going to go on board with Lazaro as we're going to see the start kick up. And with all this wet on the track, it will make it super difficult for anybody to get away. And already we're starting to see issues. That is Astro Boys falling behind Brownies. A little move down the inside of Force Indy going on the Mercedes right now. That was Speedy on Blackbird. It didn't quite pan out how they wanted. And there's luckily, I saw a few cars going sideways a little bit. But they managed to keep it all together, no issues. Look at this. Rick is going down for a move. It's going to be an outside. Is he going to get the cutback though? He's looking for it. Is he going to get the acceleration out? It doesn't look like it's going to be. Lazaro and Blackbird have come together, looking further down the pack. Loads of cars are going wide. And what an interesting start to the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, a lot of positions going there from Necromonial Pug up 6. Rainbow losing out on 6 as well. So big changes there. Necromonial Pug just lost 1 position to make me look like a fool. And yeah, so not much has moved, just everyone's moved 1 position, but obviously out front we do have a new leader in Rayner. Whether or not he can rein it in and extend that league, Rick says, get back here, I want some of you. As he's still all over the back of him. Times are going to be a little bit out until the end of the 2nd lap, so please ignore what you see there.
Although I think Slash LP and Ray Ray actually battling. Yeah, Ray Ray just went off track and it's a little bit of a nudge there into the back of Slash LP, but he manages to keep it all together. No damage was incurred, but he is losing places. Just Chilling now up into P9. Gamesmer is trying to make some moves as well. This is going down to be the inside of turn 1, but he's backed out. Very smart move there. Look at the Williams there. I think that was Spax Gamer. Yeah, he's alongside his teammate. Will Wumper's about to get sandwiched by the Williams. There's already contact between the two of them. Max Thorne just goes into the side of Will Wumper, but they are now pointing fine. And Max has gone for a very deep dive there in a turn 2. they are holding hands. If you
Chillin's just falling back.
yeah, what's happened there? Has he lost control or something?
Got a terrible drive out of turn 1. Games mirror went past him. I think battling with Ray cost him a bit of time. I don't know if he picked up damage in that battle, but considering he was right behind /LP and has just lost 2 places in half lap, not very good.
No, definitely not good indeed. So, like you said, Rayner is the race leader after two laps in. Rick is still chasing and not letting him get away from him. And I know... Go on.
Blackbird just a little bit sideways there. Speedy getting past. I think nearly being taken out by Blackbird, just losing their rear end coming off 6. Nearly taking Speedy with him. And Speedy goes very deep on there, and Blackbird's really fighting with this car. Brownie's pitted already. That's interesting. Is that going to be for wet setup or is that for damage?
I think it's going to be for damage, although I just saw Astro Boys completely destroy a board marker there, so he may actually have damage as well. Spax gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That'll be for corner cutting. And Spax is actually really close to the back of Necronical Pug. Here he is, side by side as he comes up to turn 2. Who's going to break latest? It's looking like Spax may have got the benefit from it. Yes, he has. That is a done deal. Spax now up in a P11. Really solid move by him.
Is it Spax or Spa-Rex?
I think...
I was going for Spa Gamer or Spa-Rex Gamer.
I don't know. I think we can wing it. We'll go with Spa-X. I think you're more right than I am, so we'll go with Spa-X. Blackbird, how's he doing? He's still chasing Speedy, but Speedy's managing to keep a good distance away. Games Mirror, though, he's actually, actually about the same sort of distance away from them, too. Look at the front pack, though. Top 4 are now outside of, if there was
Rainbow
DRS.
Max. Gonna try and go down the inside on Rint. Let's see if he's got it. It's gonna be tight. Now he lets Max, gives Max a little bit of space. No, he's got a nice straight to try and make a pass now. He's underfueled the car as well. Max losing nearly the rear end there. Rainbow unable to act on that.
Oh, look at Zoxon, he's going for some moves. He's right behind this battle of 2 there. And I thought that Zoxon... Oh! Rainbow's gone off the track. He's facing the wrong direction, but ultimately he's managed to keep his car fully intact. So whilst that is very frustrating, I don't think there was any contact. I think that was just purely a driver mistake.
He's off track again. He's going to lose another place there. I think it was getting a little bit too keen on the accelerator and maybe nudged the back of Max, which put himself into a spin. And I think he might have almost just nudged... I thought I just saw Brownie flying off towards the side, but he's right behind him, so he's fine.
Oh, just chilling. Yeah, I don't know if
his day.
I know. Did you see him just then off the track there? Like he was scraping along the side of the wall. I thought that he just lost control and hit the wall, but looking at his wing, he's got no damage. It was just a simple driving mistake.
Are you sure about your prediction that he has a nice wet weather setup? Because I don't.
Yeah, I'm fully confident in his abilities.
Well, your other prediction, Astro Boys, is flying, so that's always good.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I predicted to be P3 now, I've already forgotten.
I also can't remember who you predicted for P3 actually. But Zoxon, again, on the back of Max Thorne. We saw what happened last time we got to this point, last lap round, where Max and Rainbow had a collision. Max is off track.
Just let him pass.
So, yeah, nice and easy for Zoxon. He's going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's an easy overtake. Max just making a mistake, letting him through.
The two Toro Rossos side by side. Actually, Will Wumper was looking like he was going to go down the inside of Necronical Pug. Didn't. Although, look how much pace he's got already. Oh, that was almost a collision, but they managed to keep it together again. Will Wumper now up in a P12, and Necronical Pug comes down the inside again. Just went a little bit too deep. Although, he's managed to hold it. And that is a good, solid P12 for him at the minute. Is he going to hold it? Well, we'll keep an eye on him.
Further up, you've got Blackbird on the rear of Speedy. He's been here for the entire race so far. Speedy running's a little wide on the exit of 7. See if Blackbird can get that power down and get after him. He's got the slipstream. But has he got the pace to put it down the inside? He's having a look. No, he thinks better of it. And we have a DNFer. I'm annoyed that I now moved off Necromaniac Pug because he's now out.
That's the second to last corner. That's turn 7. It looks like he just lost it. Oh no, he's there, look. That's on the final corner. He just went off straight into the wall. I don't know whether or not he had an issue beforehand that sent him flying in that direction, but has a very hard impact with the wall, and Brownie sets the fastest lap, but somehow, oh, I think he got yellow flagged when he overtook Harry, so he gave the position back to his teammate. And now already he's going again. Look at this. There were two Red Bulls side by side at the bottom of the pack. This is not the place you normally see the Red Bulls. Is Brownie going to be able to make a good move down the inside? He's got the latest break, but he has done it. Yep, and Harry just didn't get the acceleration out of the corner, and therefore Brownie is now in a P15.
Yeah, Brownie, the big lockup going in there. I was just wondering if he's actually going to be able to stop before the corner came, as Max picks up a predictable penalty. Sparrex on Ray Ray. He's done it. He's got a ball with Ray Ray. He's looking to come down the inside. Sparrex has gone off, so Ray Ray's got the inside line, and there's a bit of latency, and Ray Ray's currently beating him, and I think he's going to hold out. He's definitely got to drive off the corner, and Sparrex is going to slot him behind. Just chilling, he's having a little look. He wants to come past these guys. He's had a terrible race so far.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to find something. Let's have a look at position changes. He's dropped 2 places. I mean, there are worse because they've had to pit due to issues, such as Brownie, Rainbow.
Yeah. I think just Chilling's main issues were his own, to be honest. I think he's just tried to over accelerate too much in these corners. As Sparrex and Ray Ray are still side by side. It's almost like they're just refusing to give either of them even just a little bit of a nose. Look, they are still side by side now as they're coming through to the end of the second sector. How are they going to go through this long left-hander? Ray Ray goes a little bit wide. Sparrex is being forced all the way off to the track. He actually lost the grounds, and that means that Just Chilling now is looking to take some moves down on Sparrex. Gamer, is he going to go down the inside? I think he is, but he's backed out quite wisely. I think he knows that there isn't enough traction for him to be able to pull off a dive like that, and that doesn't surprise me. Good heads-up driving there by Just Chilling, but it does mean, though, that he isn't past Sparrex despite the fact that he had an issue.
Yeah, well, he closed the door almost. Well, he left a little bit of space down Jochen but Just Chilling couldn't take advantage of it, knowing that he may end up going inside him, and he's actually dropped back a fair bit as Sparrex is looking to go down the inside of Ray Ray. Oh, a bit of a late move there by Ray Ray, potentially, but well, we'll leave that to the judges to decide. Sparrex is trying to get that power down. Yellow fuel on Sparrex. He's got the lighter car, but obviously can't put it into mode 4 when he needs to. That's the wrong fuel. Into Rich when he needs to, just in case he runs too much, because he needs to get past Ray Ray, so he can do a bit of fuel saving. He's a little bit off there. Just Chilling, can't do anything about it this time anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Sparrex Gamer has been very lucky, if I'm honest. He should have had at least 2 or 3 offs, having seen the way that he's been driving. It looks like he should have been off track and facing the wrong direction. Just Chilling is getting very unfortunate in that I think he is faster. I just don't think he knows how to get past Sparrex Gamer, and that is costing him. Still sat down there in P11 outside of the points, and the longer that he's running in this dirty air, the worse it's going to be for him. He needs to figure out a way. He's got a lot of VRS to use. I'm wondering whether or not he's just a little bit afraid to put it down.
He's fallen right off the back as well, just under a second now behind Sparrex, and Sparrex is still looking to make a move on Ray Ray. Going to go up the hill towards turn 2. Is he going to send one down the inside? I think it's too far back now to make a move. And Max has had enough. I wouldn't be surprised if that was just a retire from session. He was plumb last. Well, plumb 18th. Not Max's day once again.
No, he does seem, again, we've touched on it a couple of times, but Max in particular does seem to struggle to have a lot of consistency on track, whether it be just in qualifying or in actual race pace himself. He already got himself a couple of penalties by the time that we got through this point, so it isn't a surprise that he's had this issue, but he is unfortunately out of the race. His teammate, however, is still chasing Ray Ray. Looking a bit further up, actually, Ray Ray's teammate, Speedy, is under attack from Blackbird. Blackbird's getting a little bit out of shape going through turn 8, and then gets a bit on the oversteer side as he accelerated a little bit too hard coming out of that corner.
Well, they've got Astros behind as well, and Astros are going to look to take advantage of these guys battling and make a move or two, because we know he's got the pace, but in the wet is a good leveler. Just comes down, it's not as much about pace, it's about patience in the wet.
Yeah, absolutely. Sparks Gamer again though. Look how close he is still to the back of Ray Ray. Ray Ray's trying to squeeze him to the edge. There's enough room just about.
Sends it. It goes very deep. Ray Ray's going to come straight back through. Where's Just Chillin'? He's just chilling behind him.
Yeah, he's quite the way off. I think, if I'm honest, I think Just Chilling's backed off enough to try and keep his tyres alive. Just Chilling does definitely play for the long game. He appreciates that keep your tyres looked after and your tyres will look after you. Where is
Blackbird?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Blackbird's still hunting for Speedy. I mean, like you said earlier, they have been doing this. That was a good catch by Blackbird. That could have very easily been a binned Mercedes.
Even worse, it could have been a bin Mercedes and a bin Sauber if he just got it all wrong, taking Astro's off. But Astro's unable to take advantage of that mistake, but he is right behind Blackbird. Let's see if he can make a move before turn 2. Has a little look there. Nothing for him just yet. But Speedy ran a little wide at exit turn 1. Nothing either of them can do about it at this point. Sparx is still right behind Ray Ray, so I'm just going to drop back to that. As he's passed on the straight this time before the corner.
Astro Boy, sorry, he was going for a really ambitious dive down the inside of Blackbird. But yeah, as you were saying, Sparx Gamer and Ray Ray are battling again. And now they're a lot better off. Sparx Gamer is actually closer to Ray Ray than he has been last lap and the lap before that. Is he going to be able to go for a successful dive? He's definitely having to think about it, but now he's backed out. Although Ray Ray's all out of shape. Now Sparx Gamer needs to get the foot down if he wants to be able to pull away. No, neither of them. Oh, there's a bit of a nudge. Who's going to make it out there? It looks like Ray Ray yet again, but Sparx Gamer's on the inside. Look at the drive that he's pulling off here. This is a really good battle between the two of them, and they are still wheel to wheel. And it looks like Sparx Gamer may have finally, after all these attempts, got it done. But Ray Ray says, nope, I will not let you get this position from me. This is important. I want the double points. I want to make sure I can get past you. But no, Sparx Gamer declines that request and says, respectfully, Ray Ray, just stay in P10.
Sparx has started pulling away already, so great driving round, effectively from turn 3 to turn 7, just battling the whole way round. And I thought Ray Ray was going to have it back, but just almost backed out going into turn 7 and let Sparx take it for now, as Blackbird's still on the rear of Speedy. That's been like that for about 12 laps, and we're on lap 12.
Yeah, it's literally been like that from the get-go. I mean, Astro Boys did a really solid job of climbing up the field at the beginning of the race. Well, I mean, he lost a few and he's recovered himself back to P6, but you know, he just cannot get past these two drivers. And it just shows how without DRS in Austria, it becomes such a hard thing to do to make an overtake happen. You know, you go from, in a dry Austria, it goes from having overtakes happening left, right and centre multiple times a lap, every lap. Then you get to the rain, and then it's just an overtake every few laps, depending on how well they've managed to get a drive out of each other. And it's just, there's just not enough grip for these cars to be able to really chuck it in and just pray that it works.
Yeah, Just Chilling's pissing as well. Let's see what he goes for. Obviously, it could be either inters or wets. Crazy to put on a set of dries at this stage of the race, and see if he does anything. He's taking his time, but Blackbird's still on the rear. Speedy, Astros is still there. Gainsborough is trying to catch up to Slash LP, and that's all straight at this point in time.
Yeah, things. Oh, actually, that could play a factor. Speedy ran very wide there. Blackbird now closer than he has been for quite some time, but Speedy does have the inside. This is going to make things difficult for Blackbird, but because Speedy had the inside, he ran very wide, and Blackbird just didn't capitalize on it. It's like he's letting Speedy keep the position. Let Speedy make a mistake on his own, and I'll just cruise away, not burn my tires away. And yeah, look, Speedy's still holding on to P4. Okay, so you got Astro Boys still chasing Blackbird, Blackbird still chasing Speedy, but then when you look at the top 4, you really start to understand just who is dominating this race, and that's Rayner. Rayner is 3.8 seconds ahead of Rick in P2. Rayna's been doing a phenomenal job of holding down the pace.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking at
Blackburn
that.
speed, a little bit of contact there.
And that,
Wheel to wheel.
you've got to feel for Astro Boys that I honestly think it's the same sort of situation as what Just Chillin had earlier, where he was faster. You know, there was no doubt about it. It's just he cannot find enough of a gap because the two cars ahead of him are continuously battling like they are right now. Blackbird is pushing Speedy to the side. There is a little bit of a connection between the two of them. That means there was almost a destabilization of the vehicle, and but Blackbird has finally made it past Speedy.
Yeah. Now, at the same time, Rick picking up a first of his usual penalties, 3-second one. So as it stands, he will drop behind Lassero, and Astro's looking to come past Speedy. And Speedy's not very speedy in the wet. He's just closed it a little bit, but Astro's is still there. Speedy picks up a 3-second penalty. Whether or not it's his fault or a nudge from Astro's that caused that, well, that's the judge to decide. But Astro's looking to go down the inside into turn 1. Last the late breakers is Astro's for now.
Yeah.
Speedy with the first of the Grace accelerators.
Yeah, Speedy actually just couldn't get past Astro, even though he managed to do a successful cutback. And now you see Speedy again trying to just figure something out. It does mean that Astro has the tighter line, but he also means he's got the inside line. And look how that happens. Astro Boys is now ahead. But Speedy does not want to let this end. Astro Boys goes defensive. It does mean that Speedy's going to have to try and figure out either a cutback. And he tried it. Look at that. Astro Boys gone so deep. And that brings Speedy back up to P5.
Speedy using all the track, knowing Astros was off track. Speedy just went, well, I'm coming out there to prevent you from coming back on anytime soon.
Yeah.
And through all this, we've got a good battle forming. Slash RP's joined the back of it. Games Mirror is also at the back of it. One mistake from any of these 4 drivers, or 5 drivers if you include Blackbird, could result in a big loss, as Rick has pitted from P2. It's interesting to see if any of these other guys pit. Not at this point in time. So Rick's going to blink first and see where he comes out. He's going to come out behind this train, probably quite far back at the end of it all. Here he is trying to down the pit lane. He's going to come out probably behind Spar X, maybe behind Ray Ray. Nope, Spar X is coming through. This actually could be a good battle going up the hill. Fresh tyres.
Gainsborough just went right into the back there of Slash LP, I believe it was. That was a huge incident between the two of them. Definite wing damage on Gamesmirror's car. He is not looking pretty cozy anymore. I'm not sure how bad that wing damage is. I'm looking at that left-hand side, and there are definite parts missing. Or is it the right? No, the right side. Sorry, there's missing parts.
Yeah, right-hand side. Pretty much everything's missing. There's one solitary element on there. Not doing a lot of use.
No, definitely not. So, Rick, after pitting, has come down into P9. The question is, how long will Rayner stay out? Will that slow him down? Lazzaro's in the pits, so he's already going to be dropping. Where is he going to fall? Is he going to be just behind Ray Ray, I believe?
Quite possibly. Gainsborough has pitted. So
Brownie and Ray Ray. Brownie's around the outside of it. Ray Ray managed to keep the line, but Brownie, what a move there that he just did. He went around the outside of turn 7 and 8 on Ray Ray and has managed to... Oh, he's coming back. Ray Ray now has the tighter line, but Brownie does surrender that space to let him get round.
Oh.
I think that was a connection issue that bumped Ray Ray back. It does mean that Brownie is back up into P9, but Ray Ray, Brownie being the kind soul that he is, says, nah, you deserved P9. I'm not going to take that from you. It's not your fault you had a connection issue. Off you go.
Yep, we'll see if Brownie can take advantage of it again and come back past Ray Ray.
Let's have a look at Rick though.
Good drive.
Rick, round the back end of Spike's Gamer.
Bit of contact there between Brownie and Ray Ray. I know you're looking at a different battle to me, but this one hasn't finished yet.
I've come back.
Rayner has pitted as well. That could be crucial. Rick needs to get past Spar X to get himself up there. And I think based on the fact he hasn't got past Spar X, it means Rayner's going to come out in front of Spar X.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough one. I don't know exactly how it's going to pan out for Rayner. I think he may actually be quite slow coming out of the pits in comparison to these guys coming around turn 1. He's already on his way out. Is he going to be... I mean, look at Rick now, he's on the inside of Spike's game as they come up to turn 1. He's been very delicate on the brakes. He knows he needs to clip that corner. And he has. Look at that. He's still going. But Rayner comes out in P2 after that. What a drive by him.
Only 1.5 seconds, or 1.3 seconds behind the current leader as well. So he's putting some real shift on those tyres. As Rick and Spyrex still haven't finished their battle.
No, Rick did lock up very hard going into turn 2, which meant he took a deep dive. Spyrex Gamer says, well, I saw that coming, mate. So he took a short look. Again, Rick locking up another time, going through turn 3.
Fortunately, that wasn't as bad, and he's able to get that power down, get away, and make that move complete. But Rayner's about to be battling Blackbird for current P1. I suspect Blackbird might be pissing this lap on next. As we're getting to the point where you have to ask yourself, can these guys one-stop it on the inters?
Well, they're at the halfway point now. It does suggest that they can. Whether or not they're going to try is a different story. Rayner now. That was a beautiful move. Very well done there by Rayner. He took a very sharp line, but it did mean that he was able to pull it off.
I've said this so many times in other races. Has it stopped raining?
It actually has. It's actually stopped raining. So maybe these drivers that are still out there, Blackbird, Speedy, Brownie, Ray, etc., they're all on these very old intermediate tyres. Obviously, Rayner and Ray and Lazzaro, the top 3 drivers, did pit and switched out. Ashra also doing the exact same thing. If this track dries out in the next couple of laps, that could have proved disastrous for them. And it could work out massively for Blackbird, as he's really demonstrated how well he's been doing.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I don't expect it to suddenly dry up in the next couple of laps. It might take 4 or 5 maybe. Just really depends on... I mean, if the sun starts coming out, heating things up, then yeah. But it's going to be really hard for Blackbird and Speedy to even just drive on this old tyres. So we have yellow in sector 1. Was that Rainbow having a little off?
I can't see where...
Oh! What happened there? Is that a puncture for Blackbird? Must be.
Yeah, his rear right. Is that a rear right puncture?
So he suddenly just went on the home straight. I was on board with him, he suddenly just veered into the wall.
That looks like a very flat rear right to me.
Yeah, it's rear right, you can see it bobbing all over the place.
Wow, I have not seen that in a very long time.
I've not seen these in a very long time. The softs are on Ray Ray's car.
That must have been a mistake, surely.
Well, we'll find out shortly. Blackbird, that's the worst place for it to happen, just on the home straight after the pit entry. So Blackbird is going to just drop. Willy Wamper's going to be kind of worried that his tyres might go, and so is Speedy. They both will have seen this happen. Whether or not they are aware, I mean, Willy Wamper's coming out to the back of Blackbird, he just can't drive. So let's have a look at Ray Ray.
Yeah, I was just looking at him then for a second. He does look pretty uncomfortable. I mean, he's making some interesting diving moves there. He goes very deep into turn 3.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's struggling. Like, you know, they don't look complete. Oh, never mind, I'll take that back. The way that he just took that there, that was a very clear indicator that this track is definitely not ready for dry tyres, despite the fact that the rain has stopped. The main sort of giveaway to show whether the track is actually dry enough in F1 2018 is when DRS is then enabled. That is at the point of then where the dry tyres do warm up and do wake up, and that's the point also where you need to be timing it just right. Is he going to come in the pits? He's not. Staying out, and look at that, Zoxen actually being held up by Ray Ray.
Absolutely. Zoxen now has just got past Ray Ray, so he's on his way. It's a risk for Ray Ray. I suspect it will work out for him eventually, but he's got a long way to go. And these tyres, as soon as it starts drying out properly, these tyres are going to just be cold. So very cold. As I'm just going to quickly flip up to the front actually, because I can see Speedy is trying to battle. Was trying to battle with Lazzaro. He's trying to battle with Rick.
Yeah, Lazaro just tore past Speedy coming out of the second sector. And that did mean now that Lazaro is now released and on the back of Rick. Rick is going to have to pull something out of the bag if he wants to achieve this. But I'll tell you something, Speedy has done a miraculous job of being able to get himself up in a P4. Obviously, the top 3 drivers did manage to pit and bring themselves back up into their respective orders again, even though the other drivers haven't yet pitted. But it does mean that when they do pit, Speedy will have benefited more than anyone else, providing that he keeps his car on track and also doesn't follow in Blackbird's shoes and end up with another puncher.
Yeah, Blackbird's day was made worse. The fact, obviously, you've got a puncher, you can't control it. He took wing damage as well. But I think Rick's issue was the fact that he couldn't get past. Speedy's sliding. Ray Ray's retired. He's had enough. And Speedy's dropped back behind Brownie. Rick couldn't get past Sparrex, and that's why he's under so much pressure now. That the time he lost. I mean, when they came in, it was about 4 seconds between Rick and Rayner. Now it's 7.5 seconds. So obviously lost a lot of time there. As Speedy says, this is it. I can't keep doing this, and it's in the pits. See if Harry follows him.
Yeah, Speedy tried to last it out to see if the dry weather would come, but yeah, I think having seen what happens at Blackbird, I don't think Speedy's wanting to risk it. Blackbird got punished severely for it. He's all the way down in P13. It's just not panned out how he wanted it to. Speedy almost hit the pit wall there. I mean, he clipped it, but there was no real damage there. So, Speedy returns, is in between Spartex and Games Mirror. Ray has left as he's already retired. It wasn't a surprise to me that he retired, if I'm honest. Softs this early on, whilst the track is still so wet, it's just not feasible. It's downright insane is what it is.
Absolutely. It's worth keeping an eye, though, on Brownie and Willy Wampo still out there, and Harry on the very old Inters. And they may be making this call perfectly here, but we've still got 12, 13 laps to go.
So, Lazaro chasing Rick still, 7-8 tenths now behind him. If DRS gets re-enabled shortly, they will have the ability to utilize it. And I think the way that the track is going, give it another lap or so, I think we will actually have DRS re-enabled.
Absolutely, it's looking that way. And it's going to be crucial to see when it happens where people are. Also, you want to be the one who pits first at the right time. With such a short track, it's not that much of an issue, but yeah, obviously you might lose out on a couple of seconds if the guy behind you pits at the perfect time and you don't, and you end up just sitting right behind him when you do pit.
Yeah, and the other thing about this, when the track does get dry, it does promote a hell of a lot of overtaking. The 3 DRS zones do come to life and the track just becomes a whole different ball game, and that's where the drivers need to really demonstrate not only now how quickly they can be on the track, but also how well can they defend and recover any mistakes they've done. The other thing that you got to think about when you're driving around Austria on a dry track is you need to think not just the current situation but a couple of corners ahead. You know, with the 3 DRS zones, you don't necessarily want to be overtaking someone on the first DRS zone. You want to be sort of closing the gap as much as possible, so when you do take turn 1, you get better exit out of turn 2. You've also got a much stronger slipstream. Fully utilize the DRS and your ERS, and then when you get to the 3rd DRS zone, the second one if you like, the one after turn 2, and that's when you actually can tear away.
I'm not 100% sure what the detection points are as well. That makes a big factor. I don't know if you can confirm what detection points are. I can't remember.
Yeah, so it's shortly before you get to turn 2. It's like just as you start going up the ramp. That's where the detection zone is. So you need to make sure that you've just done your overtake just after that line. Ideally, you want to be side by side as you enter into the corner, so that when you get to the next DRS zone, you can utilize the 3rd or the 2nd DRS zone if you like, and then you are laughing. So Willy Wampa on the back end of Just Chilling, not quite having as good a race as I expected. I think he just can't seem to chain it all together, but still in the points as long as he can hold Willy Wampa back.
Yeah, Willy Wampa is on fresh rubber as well. which could make or break it for him here. I'm still waiting to see someone else try some dry tyres as well. Try some dry tyres, not dry some dry tyres. It's either going to be Brownie, or I suspect someone like Just Chillin will take a risk early on. Obviously, Just Chillin is under a bit of pressure. He's got Willy Wumper right behind him on fresh rubber, and he's not going to. Just Chillin's not going to gain any time at this point, is he?
No, no.
He's not going to start pulling in on people in front of him. So it looks good for him to take a risk. If you ask me, him or Zoxon. Obviously, Brownie will take the risk when he absolutely has to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Just Chillin's tyres versus Willy Wumper's tyres. Willy Wumper does have far fresher tyres. It does also mean that Just Chillin, you know, is going to be bearing that in mind. But the fact that Willy Wumper is struggling to make a pass happen on Just Chillin does suggest that Just Chillin does have better lines, better race strategy, better race structure. And, ooh, that is quite a big deal. When you've already got a Lazaro chasing you under less than a second, that 3-second time penalty is dramatic.
That's his second one as well, so that's 6 seconds, which actually brings Brownie into play, which could be big for Rick. Obviously, currently, I'll tap out again quickly. Drake Bell is our championship leader, who isn't. Oh, Lazaro a bit like that.
Oh, Speedy!
Speedy's gone.
Where's that? That's turn 7 or turn 8? I can't see the wreckage anywhere. Oh, is that him on the track? I think that is.
With Blackbird.
Yeah, Speedy's retired on track. He's got all 4 tyres on his car, so I don't know if he just retired through frustration.
I can't see it.
He was on the home straight, just relaxing. So,
oh, didn't see it.
He becomes the 5th car today to retire from session, whereas Willy Wumper's looking for a move down the inside of Just Chillin as they come into turn 2. He needs to make sure he gets a much better drive out this corner. It's not quite worked out how he wanted, and Just Chillin is all over the place. Now Willy Wumper's going to have to try and figure it out. How is he going to make this dive attempt work? He's going into turn 3 quite hot, but he's managed to brake just early enough. Just Chillin's got all the work to do now. He needs to stay around the outside, and he's done it. What a move there by Just Chillin to keep the defense alive. And P9 is still his to hold on to. With Speedy moved out, it does mean that Just Chillin got promoted to P9. And now he's going from battling for 1 point for battling for 2 points. But Willy Wumper will not let him go. He will absolutely commit to trying to take this away from him. And as they come into turn 7, it's looking likely that Willy Wumper's going to go for a dive. He is.
I'm still on board with Lazaro, try and close down Rick. And it's important to note, we will have a new championship leader here after today, because Drake Bell isn't here. Something we haven't actually talked about yet is the standings, and it is incredibly close. Top 4. Drake Bell.
Oh, sorry, Just Chillin. Made a huge mistake. Coming out of turn 1, he just spanned the rears too much, went off into the grass. Yes, he kept it out of the wall, but look at the gap between him and Willy Wumper now.
2 seconds, so yeah, he's fallen right back. But going back to the standings, which are very, very important, Drake Bell not here on 111. Then you got a tie for second place. Astros and Brownie both on 102. Then Rick on 98 points. That just shows how tight this championship is so far. As Rick is all over the place coming out of turn 1. Lazaro's not close enough to take advantage of it though. And
who's that Ferrari behind them?
That was Roy.
Oh, okay, he's been lapped. I mean, he looked like he was challenging hard to try and pull that position back, but then you see that little exit out of turn 2 there, I believe it was.
I think Roy's just trying to drive his own race and pick up positions when people crash out, which is a sound strategy.
In some leagues.
In some leagues.
So that's where
I wonder if Brownie's not going to stop.
Yeah, I've just noticed that.
Rick's wide.
Yeah, it was close.
Very close.
Would you have dived there?
Probably, but then I'm not a very good driver and I would have crashed. To be fair, I wouldn't even be in this position.
No, I wouldn't have qualified.
Well, I might have qualified.
Well,
Can't not qualify.
Well, depends. So Lazaro still, as you can tell, still hunting Rick. Rick is now starting to show a sign of weakness, and it is actually really giving Lazaro a good run to try and pull P2 away from him. The one thing I want to give a huge shout to is Brownie. Like you said, he has still got the same intermediates that he set. I think it's from lap 2, lap 3 onwards. And Brownie, 27 laps in on these intermediates. We saw Blackbird's tyres blow up. Whether that was down to debris or not, or whether it was just purely that he has a setup that completely shredded his tyres. But Brownie, 27 laps in, making these tyres look like they are brand spanking new and still keeping that 6.9 second, well now 7 second gap between the podium and himself.
Yeah, he's managed to do 6 or 7 laps more than Blackbird did before Blackbird had the puncture. I don't know if you can get a puncture on non-sim damage races. I could be wrong on that fact.
I honestly don't know. It's never happened to me.
I've never had a puncture, but I generally crash out before I have a chance to get a puncture.
Okay, we do only have 5 laps left. 5 laps left of this session. Reina is currently your race leader with a 10.3 second lead on Rick. So it's pretty cemented that he's going to get the race win here, I think, unless he has some sort of major off-and mistake. Rick looking pretty strong for P2, except he does have a lot of penalties. Lazaro run wide in turn 1, and now if the track does dry enough for DRS to become available, he is now outside that DRS range. But he is still on the podium. P3 for him.
You can't use DRS with wet weather tyres, so that's irregardless if it's enabled at this point in time. As Lazaro's really fighting this car. So it's going to be interesting to see. They have a back market coming up. That is Harry, I suspect. But Rick, it's hard for him to work out what he needs to do. He just needs to keep racing effectively. He's only going to lose 1 place to Lazaro, and Lazaro sure knows that Rick has penalties and can just almost sit in his wake and just go, don't need to try and risk my race to pass you. I'm going to get it through penalties. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing to say that, and yeah, with four laps to go, still got to finish the race, regardless, especially if it dries up suddenly and you're on these inters. That could be bad for you.
Yeah, and that would bring a lot of dramas to this Grand Prix if the race dried up sort of now in the next couple of laps. You know, there's going to be a lot of drivers, and I fully expect them to do this, take the risk and just try and get around the track on the intermediates. And then you'll find those drivers who are like, well, you know, I'm outside the top 10 anyway. I'm absolutely pitting. I'm getting on those ultra soft tyres, and I'm going to tear around the track as quick as I can and just see how many points I can claim from the ones that don't pit. If you're in Reina's shoes or Rick's shoes, do you take that risk? I think if you're in Reina's shoes, absolutely. You're pretty much guaranteed a podium position right now anyway without retiring. And if you're in Rick's shoes, I think Rick is probably going to be the one who struggles the most to make that decision.
Okay, I think we've just seen the first person to blink.
Oh,
he's just going bits. He was losing out to Blackbird there, so maybe he's realised this time as Brownie loses out to Astro Boys. I'm going to hope. Brownie hasn't picked up a puncher. Just going to stay with...
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's doing it. Ultra soft tyres going to that Haas car.
Oh, Brownie's lost it. Brownie's tyres are shot. He's just lost it going around turn 4.
Wow.
Quick reset to track and forces Spyrex gamer off track because of it.
He's got puncture. He's got puncture rear left.
Has he?
Yeah, look, that rear left is flapping away like a mad one. I just heard the onboard. I could hear it flapping away.
Oh, yes. That's bad news for Brownie then.
I mean, it was ambitious as hell for him to do that. Yeah.
Let's have a look. Just keep an eye on the gap between Justin and there. That pretty much says that he's not wet weather time if you pick up a penalty because you're off track. But it'd be interesting to keep an eye on those gaps for Just Chilling and see if he can close in. Roy also blinking, but Roy's got nothing to lose right at the back.
Oh, Just Chilling's in the wall.
Ah.
He's not dead, but he has lost wing.
Brownie's put on some ultras. Let's see if he thinks it's early enough.
Wow. He's in for a bit of a shock. More than the one he's just had from the puncture.
Well, he did well to get that far on those tyres, but... Yep. So Lazaro and Rick still battling out. There's not a lot of point looking at his battle because Lazaro knows what he needs to do, and that's sit and wait.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at Brownie.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he... I mean, he's definitely struggling. There's no doubt about it. That gap between him and Zoxon is falling to pieces, despite the fact that he has a 21.6 second gap. That'll have dropped to about 19 points, something. There you go. So, big trouble if you're in Brownie's shoes right now.
Big trouble in Little Austria. Yep.
Yeah. Lazaro though, he is committed to taking this place away from Rick. He had a little look there, but he just knew that the cutback is the better option, but Rick knew that too, and so decided to hold his line very firm, very true. And so Rick, under an immense amount of pressure, again, like you said, this is to see who's going to be the championship leader. Rick is looking like he's going to take it if it stays how it is, but one major mistake from him, and it could be him falling down the grid, or worst case, could be out of the actual race itself.
Yeah. Well, I think Astros is going to take the championship lead. He's going to be getting P4, although Astros could potentially close up the gap, but that's a long way to go. He needs to gain 6 seconds in 2 laps, as Rick is almost dropping down. Apologies, hiccups.
It's okay.
So he gets a much better drive. I think Rick has lost this one. I think. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I mean, Rick is further behind. He's going to be able to brake and keep himself out of the back of the Sauber. Look at that line he just took. Yeah. Where did Rick come from? That was a beautiful line by Rick there. He got a much better line through it, much better drive out of the corner. Lazaro is not giving in, but it does mean that Rick does still have the inside line as they come into turn 3. Is Lazaro going to be able to go around the outside? Rick says, not a chance today, mate. This is my track. This is my P2. But Lazaro is not giving in. He is staying very committed. And look at that. Swap back again. And it's going to happen. Is it going to happen one more time? There's another bit of little battling going on ahead as well. I think that was Rolls Royce and one of the Red Bulls. Yeah, it was.
That's Roy with some ultras. He just needs to get off the track. It's not time for ultras just yet, as he's finding out the hard way. He's sitting on the racing line.
He just collided into the way of Rick, and that sent him spinning. But it also was his entire fault. He turned back in onto the track, went in front of Rick's position. Now Rick has lost a lot of momentum out of that, and that's put him down almost a full second. Is that puncture? Is that puncture? Rick's got a puncture rear right.
These tyres not lasting as long as people want, and that is going to be bad news for Rick. Great news though for Astro Boys. And yeah, so Astro Boys is going to take P3 and take P1 in the championship.
Drama on the final lap of Austrian Grand Prix. Reiner is coming round now. The second sector about to start the third one, and he is looking like a man who has deserved this victory for a long time. 10-7 here, just the final corner after this to go. Looking pretty cozy, and here he comes. The man who started in P2 manages to get himself onto the top step of the podium, and Lazaro coming round now as well. And dramatically, is Astro Boys going to pass him? He has. Yes. Astro Boys takes P3. I mean, Rick was going to lose a lot anyway through penalties, but Astro Boys, again, goes back to the confidence thing. I mean, he was lucky on this occasion that Rick actually had a puncture, but wow.
I wonder where Rick's going to end up, because Spire X is definitely going to take him.
He's facing the wrong direction. Yeah, look at that. Rick actually came out of turn 8.
Games Mirror might take him as well then. I think he will actually, because Rick is just across the line. Games Mirror should take him.
He has.
What about Slash LP?
And Slash LP's taking him as well. It's just more disaster for Rick. Rick has now cemented a P7, but that was not a way to end the race as a Renault driver. That is not something you wanted.
Especially in Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie is limping back round the track. That tyre is very injured. So there you have it. That is the Austrian Grand Prix. Reiner dominating the race from the beginning right through to the end. Didn't quite get what he wanted in the qualifying, but wow, what an absolute drive by him throughout the race. Lazaro gets P2, and Astro Boys, who's now very happy with himself, has got himself on the podium again.
Absolutely.
Who's your driver of the day?
Well, we called it at the start, didn't we? Got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
In a tricky conditions, Rayner just lost it. He did pick up a 3-second penalty, but he still finished 13.5 seconds clear of Lazare. And yeah, it just wasn't. It was basically like a walk in the park.
It was
no
indeed.
issues whatsoever.
So, thank you everyone again for tuning in to watch the World Championship Racing Grand Prix here in Austria. I've been Ben Ragan McConnell, and joining me has been Jamie M. Casa Elder. So, thank you very much for joining me on the Casa's bench. And again, everyone here from WCR would like to pay a massive thank you again to Charlie Whiting for everything he did. And we look forward to seeing you all guys next week. And we're back. No, I've done it again. I've completely forgotten which track it is.
Oh, come on.
Save me.
No.
We're back next week. Tune in.
In Britain.
There we go, in Britain.
Let us down.